Okay, so now comes the part where I talk about everything that they've done to me. This incident, there was a pool in Calgary, and there was a beautiful young Chinese lifeguard there that I was there to talk to, and my friend was waiting for me in my car while I wanted to go and talk to uh, my friend in the pool. And there was a young teenage girl, with her mother standing at the door of an area where I was leaving, and the back of my hand touched her butt. And her mother, and so she told her mother, you know, and I I was embarrassed. I didn't say excuse me. I just wanted to leave, and the mother stopped me with, sort of a, hey, hey, you. And I knew bloody well what she was going to say, and I didn't want to hear it or answer to it, because what do you say? I didn't want to say anything. Anyway, when I didn't stop, she got louder. And she said, "That man touched my daughter." If I didn't want to talk to her before, I don't want to talk to her now. And I really didn't want to talk to her. And I made a hasty exit towards the car. Well, a couple of hours later, the police show up at my and my wife's house. And they just tell me to come down to the police station, and I am at they don't say anything to me in the car, but they talk to each other, and the one cop is talking to the other cop about how he can babysit for his other kids. I mean, he's talking about kids and babysitting, and because this happened at a pool, and the girl was young. So they're doing all of this talking about, and they're doing all this talking in front of me about babysitting and all of this and they're insinuating, and they're doing their thing, and they're talking this way. And they get me into this police station, and they play good cop, bad cop. And the one cop tries telling me, "Oh, the girl was very cute and all of this stuff. Why don't you tell me what happened?" And I've been arrested by the police before, and this is what they do. They just screw with you, and they don't care about anything. They just want to get you to say that you were there, and that you meant to do something, and that you're a terrible person, and that and to feed the Crown Council whatever will work in court, right? That's all they do. It's not like this guy wants to know what happened. It's not like this guy is talking to you and he wants to know you and to know about you. You have a police record. They know you well enough. That's all there is to it. And they're going to try to nail you. And it doesn't matter if you have a wife and a baby and she's pregnant and you're living in this city, and none of that matters. Because he's a cop. And to make things matters and to make things worse, this is a Calgary cop. These are Calgary cops. There is no chance that these guys give a crap about you. So here's these guys screwing with me, and I don't say anything because that's what lawyers tell you to do, is never mind your own opinions. If the advice from any lawyer is just don't say anything at all. So I just sat there listening to these guys do all of this accusatory stuff and telling me I ruined this person's life. I just sat there and listened to all of this crap. And while all this was going on, they were trashing my house. It was an apartment in a house with my wife and my baby, and my wife was pregnant. And they're trashing the house and putting her in a police car in front of all of the neighbors while they trash the house. And they're not letting me out of jail. The police is telling the Crown Counsel not to let me out of jail. The Crown Counsel controls the court, and she's just not going to let me out of jail. She will just, bitch until she's blue in the face, and the judge will just give in to this woman. And so they just didn't let me out of jail. And this was in 2007. Excuse me, this was in 2008. And I spent the next 3 months in jail. Until finally I got one lawyer and they wanted to charge me with being a sex offender. And they wanted to charge me with sexual assault. And they put me in this remand center, and they put my name in the newspapers and on the television news and on the radio. And what they said was that I squeezed and groped and grabbed an underage girl's buttocks at the swimming pool. And then I ran away and I drove dangerously and almost killed somebody. This is what they said. And in the jail, so you've got the police, you've got these redneck police working with these redneck news reporters, working with these redneck judges, working with these hillbilly lawyers. None of the lawyers would help me. They just stared at me like, you're going down. We're not helping you. This is how I talk about these people. I just call them, I'm not making excuses, apologizing for how I talk about these people. I hate these people. These people are rednecks. Not fun-loving, silly rednecks. These people are fucking assholes. This is a Canadian redneck. This is an Alberta redneck. I hate these fucking people. Because of how they are and what they've done to me. I spent 3 months in that jail. The whole time I was there, I had to live in a unit called obese. And I don't know what that stands for, but the prisoners call it obese. And it's a unit where they put you in, it's like solitary confinement. And you're in there with a couple of other people, sleeping on the floor with a couple of other people. You're in there for 23 hours a day. But the whole jail is like that. You're locked up for 23 hours a day. But this place is obese. It's more, and it's secluded from the other inmates. So when you get out of your cell, you don't have to mix with 100 dangerous, violent lunatics. When you get out of your cell, it's just you and then whoever's in your cell. So it's safer. And if you've been charged with sexual assault and your name is on the radio, and these prisoners have television and they have radio and they read the newspapers, the way that prison works is if you've been charged with something like that and they're saying that the person was underage and they're saying like this was some kind of a creepy swimming pool molestation, you are going to get beat up. That's how prison operates in Canada, at least. And if you don't want that to happen, then you have to hide. And going into protective custody, they call it PC in jail, is not going to help you. And you have to go to solitary confinement. And obese is basically solitary confinement and the safest place where you can be. So I spent 3 months in that place, and I was safer, but I wasn't safe because the guards will try to get you beat up, or the psychiatrists will try to have you beat up. And at that time, the guards were not trying to get me beat up. But the psychiatrist was. And who does he work for but the guards? And what the psychiatrist was doing, because this is obese, was obese is like a psychiatric place. It's where people go if they say that they're going to kill themselves. So if you just say you're going to kill yourself, then you get sent to obese, because that's the safest place where they can keep an eye on you. So that's what people do when they're scared. Is they say they're going to kill themselves. And since this is that type of a unit, there's a psychiatrist / psychologist who comes around and talks to people sometimes and sees how they're doing. And that's his job, to see how this poor person is doing. The psychologist is checking up on this poor person to see how he's doing. And I'll talk about my experience with him in the next video.